أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد وادخلوا من أبواب متفرقة وما أغني عنكم من الله من شيء إن الحكم إلا لله عليه توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المتوكلون ولما دخلوا من حيث أمرهم أبوهم ما كان يغني عنهم من الله من شيء إلا حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها وإنه لذو علم لما علمناه ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون ولما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أخاه قال إني أنا أخوك فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يعملون فلما جهزهم بجهازهم جعل السقاية في رحل أخيه ثم أذن مؤذن أيتها العير إنكم لسارقون. Inshallah, today we're starting from ayah number 67, and if you remember last week we got to the point in the surah where the brothers, they came back to their father and requested him to send Binyamin, his blood brother, Yusuf alayhi salam's blood brother, with them so that they could get his share of the grain that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was giving per person. So initially there was resistance from the father, but ultimately he agreed, and he made them promise that they're going to bring Binyamin back safe and sound, and after they made that promise, then he agreed. So this is where we start the story now. He is advising his sons as they're leaving with one important piece of advice. What is that? He says, وَقَالَ, he said, يَا بَنِي, O my sons, لَا تَدْخُلُوا مِنْ بَابٍ وَاحِدٍ, do not enter from one door, وَادْخُلُوا مِنْ أَبْوَابٍ مُتَفَرِّقَةٍ, and enter through separate doors. So what was the reason for him saying this? The scholars say that he wanted them to be protected from jealousy and ayn, meaning the evil eye. So the question is, why did he do that? Obviously, these were the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam, and they were ultimately the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam. And Yusuf alayhi salam, his handsomeness, his beauty, he was very, very unique. So even though his beauty was unique, it was quite possible and probable that the beauty and handsomeness of his brothers was not too far behind. So that's why the inclination of Yaqub alayhi salam was that rather than entering one door at one time and everybody looking at you simultaneously, it is better for you to go through separate doors so that the eyes of the people do not get attracted to you all at one time, and then you become the victims of the evil eye. And this concept of the evil eye is something that we should be aware of. What exactly is it? First of all, we have to realize that it is the truth. Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Ainu haqq, the evil eye is the truth. And it does take place, it does happen. And how does it happen? The thing is that each and every single one of us, we have our eyesight, we can look at things, but what makes that eyesight evil and what makes that the ill effect of it from coming into existence is jealousy that is in the heart. So these two components, they make up what is the evil eye. Jealousy and the looking combined, it makes up the evil eye, which then makes deficiency in the thing that is looked at. And there are countless incidents of things that happen in the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Once one of the Sahaba, he was taking a shower, obviously behind a screen, but part of his body was exposed, and somebody looked at his body, which was very white and looked very handsome, and he praised that person's body, the Sahabi's body, and immediately the person who was being praised, he fell down on the ground with a very, very strong fever. And when this was brought to the attention of the Prophet ﷺ, he said that this is Ain, and he instructed the person that praised the Sahabi to make wudu, and the wudu water that was accumulated from that person's wudu, it was taken and poured over the Sahabi who became the victim of the evil eye, and he then became well again. So this is the actual procedure of removing the evil eye, if you know where the evil eye came from. The problem is that in many cases, a person, even if he approaches somebody and says, well, it was because of you this happened, it's likely that the person will be insulted and will say that why are you accusing me of this, and it may cause problems. So in lieu of that, a person can recite the Mu'awwadhatayn and other specific ayat which are related to the evil eye, and that way a person can remove the evil eye that has taken place. So again, the evil eye, it is a combination of jealousy and the looking, which results in the person becoming affected negatively. So the same, another person who looks at something beautiful or someone beautiful or a beautiful baby, and he looks with a genuine love and a genuine affection, and obviously he vocalizes and verbalizes like mashallah, tabarakallah, then that person will not be afflicted with the evil eye. So this is what we need to do. We should remove any kind of hatred or jealousy from our hearts, and that will prevent other people from becoming afflicted with the evil eye. So this was the reason that Yaqub alayhi salam, he told his sons, do not enter into one door, but go from separate doors so that people's eyes cannot be targeted, cannot target you all in one go. You are going from different places, so you will not become a bigger target, so to speak. But at the same time, Yaqub alayhi salam, he also said one thing, وَمَا أُغْنِي عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to happen and He's decreed it to happen, then I cannot help you when it comes to, facing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or opposing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The wording, it's a bit complicated to translate وَمَا أُغْنِي عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Basically, it means that if it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then I will not be able to help you in the least. I will not be able to help you in the least, meaning if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed something for you, then I cannot do anything. So, but at the same time, while he realizes that if Allah decrees something, I cannot do anything. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to happen, I cannot do anything. That did not stop him from taking the asbab and adopting the asbab. And there are so many examples of this that a person can think about. For example, a person, he takes medication. He should not be taking the medication with the understanding that the medicine itself is the cure. He should take the medication with the understanding that first and foremost it's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, لِكُلِّ دَاءٍ دَوَاءٍ, for every illness there is a medication, and also with the understanding that the cure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in the medicine, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. And if He wants, He can not allow that medication to take effect, and He may not cure me. So at that point, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed for me that I would not be cured, then that is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I cannot do anything in opposition to that. But at the same time, I should not just say, no, I have tawakkul, I have trust, and not take medication. So these are two components. Taking the asbab, meaning the means, adopting the means, and at the same time understanding that the real power is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are other examples. For example, putting water into plants. putting a seed in the ground and then putting water on it and taking care of the plant. Okay, so if these are the means that a person adopts to make sure that the plant grows up healthy and strong. All right. But if a person just puts the seed there and says, okay, I have tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it's going to grow, then this is foolishness, and it's not what a sensible person does. A person does everything that he can, and then after that he trusts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he will make that plant grow because of the asbab that have been put into place. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ said, right? We hear this hadith all the time. Tie your camels, and then have tawakkul in Allah Ta'ala that those camels will not get lost. So this is al-ittihad bil asbab, taking the asbab, but keeping in mind that everything is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, وَمَا أُغْنِي عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. In front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I cannot help you in the least, if Allah has decreed it. إِنِ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. The decision is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning the judgment, the decision, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He decrees it. It's not in my hands. Yaqub alayhi salam says, alayhi tawakkalt. Only upon Him I have tawakkul. Only upon Him I have trust. Wa alayhi falyatawakkal al-mutawakkilun. And upon Him should the people of tawakkul have tawakkul. Upon Him should the people of trust have trust. Meaning we only have tawakkul and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But again, tawakkul and trust does not mean that we stop doing things. We do everything that we possibly can. And there's a famous hadith that some people quote sometimes, and they misunderstand the real meaning of that hadith. لو أنكم تتوكلون على الله حق توكله لأكلتم كما تأكل الطير تغدو خماصا وتروح بطانا. If you had the tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you're supposed to, then you would eat just like the birds eat. Alright? So the question, well, the proof that people who quote this hadith, they put forth is birds don't go for a job, they don't have a job, they don't go 9 to 5, they don't have a degree. Okay? So I should be like the birds and not do a job, not have a degree, not get an education, and have tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He will feed me. But the rest of the hadith, what does it say? تَغْدُو خِمَاصًا. The birds leave the nest in the morning. The nest. They don't sit in the nest and wait for the rizq to come. And the ruhu bitanan, they come back with a full stomach. So I remember this hadith very clearly when I was studying. The scholar, when he pointed this out to me, my Shaykh al-Hadith, when he pointed this out to me, it was like a light going off that how people understand or misunderstand this hadith is the true meaning of it. Okay? So tawakkul does not mean that you just sit. Rather, you do things, you do everything that you can, and then after that, have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will provide for you and He will do what He wants for you. The next ayah, Allah says, وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَهُمْ أَبُوهُم. When they entered from where their father had ordered them. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the same thing from His end. Yaqub alayhi salam said it in the previous verse that I cannot help you in the least if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to decree something. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says from His end, مَا كَانَ يُغْنِي عَنْهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا حَاجَةً فِي نَفْسِ يَعْقُوبَ قَضَاهَا. Yaqub alayhi salam could not help them in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except, then why did he do this? Why did they do it? إِلَّا حَاجَةً, because of the need that was in the heart of Yaqub alayhi salam. They wanted to fulfill it. They fulfilled the command of Yaqub alayhi salam. They fulfilled his desire. They fulfilled what he wanted from them, which was to take the asbab, to take precautions, to do what they could from their end. وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ مَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares about Yaqub alayhi salam that he was a person of knowledge because of the knowledge that we had given him. Okay, so the fact is that why did he tell them to take precautions? Because a person who has knowledge, he will understand the true meaning of tawakkul, and he will understand what we're supposed to do, ittikhad bil asbab, taking the asbab, and he will not just say that I have tawakkul and not do anything and leave it only in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will not do that. So, وَإِنَّهُ لَذُو عِلْمٍ, he was a person of knowledge. لِمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ, because of the knowledge that we had given him, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but most people, they don't know. And the scholars of Tafseer say that most people not knowing here refers to the misunderstanding that people have about tawakkul. Either they take all the asbab, all right? Let's take the example of a person who's sick. Take all the medication possible and assume that it's only in my hands and I have to do everything, and it's nothing to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's one extreme, that you basically leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of the picture completely. And the other extreme is not to take any sabab and not to take any medication and then say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to cure me. Both of these extremes are wrong. Okay, so we have to be on the middle ground, to take the sabab and then at the same time to say that it is truly in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So most people not knowing is taking those extremes in the wrong sense. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُف, when they came to Yusuf alayhi salam, آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَخَاهُ, Yusuf alayhi salam took his brother aside. He gave him kind of refuge, protected him a little bit. قَالَ إِنِّي أَنَا أَخُوكَ, he said, indeed, I am your brother. فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, so do not be despondent and upset at what they have been doing. Meaning, he knows that the other brothers, they don't like Binyamin and they don't like Yusuf. Yusuf alayhi salam and Binyamin were from one mother and one father, and they were from other mothers and one father, Yaqub alayhi salam. So they had this kind of jealousy, sibling rivalry, you can say, with both Binyamin and Yusuf alayhi salam. So Yusuf tells his brother, do not be upset at what they have been doing. And obviously at this point, Yusuf alayhi salam tells Binyamin a plan that he's going to have to bring back everyone. And the first step of the plan is to put into the luggage of the brothers, when he gives them the grain and the food and everything, he's going to put his cup, his special cup that he uses for measuring purposes, he's going to put it in with the grain, and then the accusation is going to be put upon them that you stole this cup, and it will be in the luggage of Binyamin. And the rule is in those days that the person who steals something, when that thing that is stolen is found in his possession, that person becomes the slave of the person whose property was stolen. So this was the rule of that time. So he makes a plan with Binyamin that this is what they're going to do. So the question would be that why would Binyamin allow that to happen? Why would Binyamin allow this thing to happen when he knows that his father is already upset with the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam? Why would he then allow Yusuf alayhi salam to kind of keep him behind and also put Yaqub alayhi salam in much more torture? So the answer to that question is found in the Quran itself. And that is that the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam is so overpowering that the loss of Binyamin is, it kind of is in comparison. It's shaded in comparison to the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam. And that is why later on in the Quran, some verses later on, when the brothers come back to Yaqub alayhi salam, he still remembers Yusuf. He doesn't remember Binyamin. He says, Ya asafa ala Yusuf, wa yaddat aynahu min al-huzni wa huwa kadhim. that he is still sorry for the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam. He only mentions Yusuf alayhi salam, and at that point he's crying so much that he then becomes blind. So the mention of Yusuf alayhi salam is there. So this is the reason that Binyamin says, okay, go ahead with this plan, we'll do this plan, and I'll stay behind with you. So the next ayah, it talks about this. فَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ, when he prepared for them their jahaz, meaning their goods that he was giving to them, the grain and everything, جَعَلَ السِّقَايَةَ فِي he put the measuring cup into the baggage, into the luggage of his own brother, meaning into the luggage of Binyamin. The word siqaya, it has different meanings. In Surah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this word to denote the feeding of the pilgrims, giving them water. أَجَعَلْتُمْ سِقَايَةَ الْحَاجِ وَعِمَارَةَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ كَمَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَجَاهَدَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَا يَسْتَوُونَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. So siqaya over there, it means to give water to pilgrims and so on. This is siqaya. Okay? And in this context, siqaya means a measuring cup which Yusuf alayhi salam used to use for drinking and for also measuring the grain that he used to give the people that were coming for charity. So, فَلَمَّا جَهَزَهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ, when he prepared their luggage with the grain and everything, جَعَلَ السِّقَايَةَ فِي رَحْلِ أَخِيهِ, he put the siqaya, this cup, into the luggage of his brother. ثُمَّ أَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّنٌ, then a person made the announcement, أَيَّتُهَا الْعِيرُ, O people of the caravan. Al-Ir refers to a caravan of animals, camels, donkeys, horses, whatever it is that is taking a load. That is called Ir in Arabic. O people of the caravan, إِنَّكُمْ لَسَارِقُونَ, indeed, you people are thieves. So they said, قَالُوا وَأَقْبَلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ مَاذَا تَفْقِدُونَ, they said while turning to them, what did you lose? And of course, the people say that we've lost this cup and we're here to find it, and there's a reward for the return of it. And inshallah, that's going to be the next verse. We'll continue with this next week. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq to understand and practice what has been said and heard.